it is 6 o'clock. So let's call the meeting to order.
Would you like roll call?
Yeah, I see a lot of folks are muted, so Jenny?
Hankins,
Here.
Triplet,
Here.
Bowersox, Dietz,
Here.
Olfest,
Here.
Vogel,
Here.
Sires.
Here.
No.
Okay. All right. Now, number 3, approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
Also move. This is Doug.
Second?
Second. Vogel.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
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 Item number 4, approval of our minute meetings for May 18th. Have you all had a chance to look them over? And if so, can we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Jenny, we don't have, comments from the audience. Have you received anything that would be that's not on the agenda that might be of note?
No, sir.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, item number 5, consider recommendation to council to reapprove the final plat for Deer Haven Plat 3. Is there someone to speak to that?
Yeah, this is Jim Campney representing Deer Haven.
Thank you.
Can you hear me all right?
I can.
Okay, good. Yeah, I've not done much of this, so thank you. We are just, I'm a latecomer into Deer Haven assistance here, but my first time with you folks. So we're just asking for a reapproval. We understand that the concept was approved a few years ago, but it was never completed and we needed to reapprove it. Construction is complete. I think it was actually staked today, the corners, et cetera. I believe we have worked with Kathleen to get everything approved. So I know of no undone items. We just asked for approval.
Kathleen, any comments?
No, they've addressed all of staff's concerns and comments. And again, it is just reapproved. You had approved it some time ago, several years ago, a couple years ago, in fact. But because the construction wasn't completed, it didn't move forward to council.
Okay.
So
Any questions?
moving forward to council. The walkthrough is scheduled for tomorrow. So.
Okay. Any other commission members have any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Go ahead. I was going to say I'll make a motion that we recommend to council reapproval of the final plat for Deer Haven Plat 3, subject to engineers and staff's comments and recommendations dated June 8, 2020.
I'll second it. Sires.
Thank you. If there's no further discussion, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Sires,
Yes.
Hankins,
Yes.
Triplet,
Yes.
Bowersox, not with us, Dietz,
Yes.
Olfest,
Yes.
Vogel.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Motion
Thank
passes.
you very much. We appreciate it. I'm
Welcome.
gonna
Thank
drop
you.
out.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is the Quick Star project. There's 3 different items under there, and we'll take them one at a time. We'll start with item number A under number 6. Consider recommendation to council approve Quick Trip number 108 preliminary plat. Is there someone to speak to that?
Yes, sir. My name is Wade Dumond. I'm with Quick Trip Quick Star out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. You can hear me okay?
You're breaking up a little bit, but I can hear you.
Okay. If I start breaking up too much, let me know. I'm trying to speak a little closer.
Okay, thank you.
So we've been working on this project with city staff for quite a while now, and I think we're to the point where we've got everything in line. And before you see the preliminary plat, the final plat, the site plan, and I understand you'll go through them one at a time. Would you like me not to talk about anything like on the site plan, or how would you like me to handle that?
Well, I suppose to keep it in order, we take it just one at a time and just focus on each item as we come to it, unless the others feel that they just want an overall thing and then address each one. Is there a preference?
I guess I would have a preference that we talk about the project in its entirety, and then we can step through the votes at the end.
Okay, all right,
I'll second that.
all right, very well.
Okay.
All right, Wade, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So the preliminary plat is before you. There's really not much to it, but it all applies to the final plat and then the site plan. We are in agreement with the conditions, recommendations on the preliminary plat. I won't probably address much that's specific on that, as well as on the final plat, as it really is associated with everything that's being designed on the site. You can see the easements that are being proposed on the plats, but those pertain specifically to items on the site plan. So I'll just go through the site plan generally. We're proposing about a 7,300 square foot store. We have a car wash on the back, and so the total square footage ends up being about 9,100 square feet, but the C store itself is about 2,300 square feet. We are known more for being a neighborhood grocery rather than a typical C store. We sell much more commodities inside, most breads. You probably all some of it, but you can. I'll refrain from going through the whole list unless somebody would like me to.
You're kind of breaking up. I wonder if we would mute all of us except Wade, if that would help, you think?
All right, we'll try it again. So you can see all the plans within the packet that you have from Kathleen. We have a pond that we're proposing on the south end closest to Bridge, the highway, within a fueling canopy between the pond and the main store with the detached car wash to the rear. We do have that designed with pretty substantial landscaping to buffer to neighbors to the north, as well as we're more than willing to limit the hours. I think that's already been recommended by Kathleen, that those hours be limited, and we're fine with that. That's pretty standard. We have gotten Army Corps review of the drainage because it does drain onto their property on the west side. The DOT also has been involved with all of the review of all the improvements out on Bridge. The access on Bridge will be a right in, right out. There'll be no left turns in or left turns out. That also is the same situation for the southernmost access point on Parker. That will be a right-in, right-out only. The full access is to the north on Parker. And we've got all our plans in there too, but I'll answer any specific questions you have. We do build all of our buildings and sites to a LEED accredited standard, which is also one of the reasons why you see, usually you'll see much more landscaping that we propose than most. And that's on the sheet towards the end of your packet. We also have a photometric plan, which is the last sheet, showing what the light levels are. Because of the LEED accrediting too, we take very seriously making sure the spillover doesn't infringe on other properties. So trying to think if there was any other issues. We do have a development agreement that has been approved by council for cost sharing for the signal that will go in at Bridge in Parker. So we've got that worked into our plan. DOT has also agreed to that. I don't believe, and Kathleen, maybe you can comment to this, but I don't think the construction plans have been finally signed off by the DOT, but I think everything on it is what they're looking for. So other than that, we're in agreement with the recommendations, and I will try to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Kathleen, do you have any comments?
I guess just want to draw your attention to the public improvements that are associated with the plat that the developer will be providing a subdivision bond for. And that includes a new median to create the turning lanes on Parker Boulevard that necessitates a little bit of widening of Parker Boulevard. Obviously, there'll be some striping there as well, and a crosswalk that would be created across Parker from west to east or east to west. Other public improvements include a right-in deceleration lane into the entrance that's right by the lift station there, and a median on West Bridge Road that would make sure that people do not turn left as they're eastbound on West Bridge Road into the site. The developer is also going to be installing a new fence around the lift station that will match the fence up in Big Creek Valley Plat 1 for that lift station. So it's going to be more of a black powder coated steel, which is the city's preference, and an easement will be created that will allow the city's vehicles for maintenance to access that lift station.
Okay. Any questions?
Also, I guess other public improvements, the storm sewer that's north of the building and the one that's along West Bridge Road are also public improvements associated with the project, and they will be kind of reconfiguring Edgewater Drive so that it's more of a sweep curve there instead of having a stub out that would have extended into Quickstar, since Quickstar won't be using that.
Right. Okay.
So let's kind of separate the commercial from the residential.
Right. Right. Are there questions from members of the commission?
I have one question, and it's not necessarily, I appreciate the design and I appreciate the extra attention to the landscaping. I noticed that you had some signage for the different types of fuel that you have. And will you be having fleet diesel also here, or will you only be having your biodiesel? And I guess this is more of a personal question for myself.
This is Wade again. I don't know, I don't know exactly what the requirements are if I'm sure there's a blend of diesel. So I think even the fleet diesel does have to have the blend in it. It's not set up to be a truck stop type of facility in terms of the high flow diesel, if that's what you mean.
Well, I was just saying, because and this is totally personal, my vehicle is a diesel vehicle, but it doesn't accept biodiesel. And so I just wanted to know if I was going to have more options other than the two. I mean, your two other rivals in town have it. So I'm just throwing that out there. You may want to consider having the green handled diesel for those of us that can only have green handled diesel.
Yeah, I believe that's typically what we have. I know that some of those decisions haven't been made, but I know one discussion is that the diesel will be there, as well as and this is probably a bigger deal up in Minnesota because it's mandated to have ethanol in every fuel. There'll be we call it recreational fuel, where if there is no ethanol for the boats and for recreational vehicles that can't accept the ethanol. So
Well, and you may consider that here because we have the lake, and I think that we have some boaters that way too. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have that for sure. Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions from members of the council or commission?
I have just a few simple questions and I guess a few thank yous also to pass around. First of all, Wade, thanks for considering Polk City for your Quick Star. I think you'll be glad that you picked us, and that I think your location is going to be providing good access to bikers and to pedestrians as well. And so I think you're going to be getting a lot of foot and bike traffic there. And do appreciate you putting in a bike rack to help accommodate some of that, and also the picnic tables. I think particularly once the vegetation around the picnic tables gets matured a little bit, those will end up being used quite a bit. Also want to thank staff for resolving the Edgewater Drive situation, and so that we didn't have to be talking about whether that needed a circle drive or whatever. Just a quick question regarding the Edgewater Drive. The land that will be vacated, that I would guess would be the city's, who is responsible? I'm assuming that gets given to someone who is taking possession of it. I just want to make sure they're clear that they need to maintain it.
Well, Edgewater Drive is a public street that was dedicated to the city with Bridge View Plat 1. And just the way it's being redesigned, there isn't a vacation there.
Okay, so the
It's just
land,
pavement removal.
okay, so that pavement that will then be made, where the pavement's being removed, who will maintain the grass that's put in there?
Well, that would be, I guess that would be Quick Star, because they're the abutting property owner.
Okay, that's my only
kind of how that
question.
works. Yep.
Okay, and thanks for having that all resolved.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Kathleen, this is probably best for you. The median on Bridge Road, is that going to be a raised median or just a painted median?
It's going to be raised because we did not want vehicles that were northbound on Parker Boulevard to turn left into the south entrance. If you recall, when Polk City Ventures initially platted this property, there was a driveway restriction that was placed on that on the lot because we didn't want that to interfere with the traffic signal. So again, it will be a raised median so that people will be turning into Quick Star from their north entrance.
Okay.
South entrance will be right in, right out.
Appreciate that. And then I guess my last question is also probably for staff more so than Wade, and that is, I expect to see a lot of bicycle traffic here coming off of the Neil Smith Trail. There is no easy way for bikers, whether locally or people biking a longer distance. There's really no easy spot for them to get water, Gatorade, or any supplies. Just curious what conversations have been held with the Corps as far as tying in the end of this trail to the Neil Smith Trail.
We have not had conversations with the Corps yet, Ron, but we are thinking and talking about tying in. I think that's the overall trail connection that we are all hoping for. But as of today, I don't have any resolution on that.
Okay. And that's it for my questions. Thank you.
This is Sires. I have a question about the north exit and entrance on Parker Boulevard. And I don't see the tire tracks, but I assume we can turn north off coming out where the car wash is. That's how we get out of Quick Star going north on Parker. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Okay. And, but there's no hard medium there. It's just painted paving on the, as you turn left going out.
Yes, that's just I believe a painted, there is a hard median on the south, all the way down to Bridge, but not heading north. Is that your understanding as well, Kathleen?
That's my understanding. I apologize. I didn't review the construction drawings myself, but that's what it appears to be. I can check back on that. The impetus for the raised median was to prohibit the westbound left turns into that south entrance.
Okay. Because it's too close to the intersection.
Right. We didn't want to, we want to make sure that signal functions properly.
Okay. And what are the hours that you're proposing to keep this open?
The C-store itself would be open 24 hours. The car wash, I believe what we had talked with Kathleen about was, I believe it's 7 to 10.
Yeah, it matches the city's noise ordinance.
Okay. So the pump, all the gas pumps and everything are open all the time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other members have any questions? Okay. I have and actually going back to that median on Parker, when I look at the preliminary plat, it shows that median on Bridge Road, but it looks like, the way I look at it, it looks like it leads me to believe there is some sort of a raised median on Parker till it gets down to where that north entrance is.
Yes, sir, that is correct. There's a raised median from the north access all the way down to Bridge where the signal will be.
Okay, so Doug, it's not just painted. I mean, you'll be able to pull out of that north entrance and go north, but it looks like there is an actual raised median on Parker.
Yeah, my question was where you see the diagonal there on the north, just north of the entrance.
Right.
That's painted on the pavement.
Okay.
But on the south of that entrance, that's all raised median.
Gotcha.
That was my question. I think that's correct.
All right.
And I do have a question when you're done with that.
Okay, and then I couldn't really tell from the documents that we got when I was looking through them. On the north side of the property, there will be the commercial separation right, or the screening.
Yeah, there is a 30-foot buffer all along the north and the north, wrapping around the northwest corner.
Okay.
That's landscape, and they're also installing a 6-foot vinyl fence.
Okay, I presumed that was the case, but I couldn't really.
Yeah, it's on the landscape. I don't know if Jimmy could go page down to that, but it's on the landscape plan.
All right, good. That's fine. That answers my question. Thank you. Doug, you had another question?
Yeah, I see some, well, you just took me off it, but that's okay. I see some red stripes on the building that are just below the overhang on the building, first of all. Is that lighted or is that an accent brick of some kind?
It's not lit. We had talked to them early on in the process and let them know that if it was lit, it would be actually have to be part of their sign area, anything like that that's lit. So on the canopy and on the building, they're unlit signs, and it's actually noted on the site plan and on the sign plan both.
Okay. I didn't look at it that close, but that's my question.
Yeah, and there's also no signage on the north side of either the building or the car wash.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, well, if not, shall we proceed here and take these one at a time? On item 6A, recommendation to council to approve quick trip number 108 preliminary plat. Any further discussion? If not, do we have a motion?
You're muted, Ron.
Well, I'll make a motion.
Sorry about that.
I move we approve. It says Quick Trip here, but is it Quick Star? Isn't it Quick Star?
The plat is actually Quick Trip.
Okay.
And so you'll see that both the preliminary plat and the final plat are Quick Trip. That's actually the name of the company, but in
Okay.
Iowa they call them Quick Starts.
Okay.
Just
So
so
we're using Trip on the first two and Star on the last on the site.
yeah.
All right. So I'll make a motion to approve Quick Trip number 108 preliminary plat with the recommendations as noted in our agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
the motion.
Thank you. Roll call.
Hankins,
Yes.
Triplett,
Yes.
Olfest,
Yes.
Deep,
Yes.
Vogel,
Yes.
Sires.
Yes.
All right, thank you. That passes. Item 6B, consider recommendation to council to approve quick trip number 108 final plat. Any further discussion on that? If not, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion again. Recommendation to the council, we approve Quick Trip number 108 final plat with the recommendations and comments in our agenda.
Second.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Jenny, roll call?
Hankins,
Yes.
Triplett,
Yes.
Dietz,
Yes.
Olfest,
Yes.
Vogel,
Yes.
Sires.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Motion passes. And item 6C, consider recommendation to council to approve quick star site plan. Any further discussion? If not, have a motion?
Okay, it's me again. I recommend we recommend to the council to approve Quick Star site plan with recommendations and comments in our agenda.
Second.
I'll second that.
All right, thank you. Roll call.
Olfest,
Yes.
Vogel,
Yes.
Sires,
Yes.
Hankins, Hankins when he's unmuted.
You did.
Oh, he did? I didn't hear him.
No,
And-
he's got it.
Yes. Yep, Hankins was a yes.
Triplett
Yes.
and Dietz.
Yes. All right, thank you. That passes. And again, welcome to the community, Wade.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. All right. Item number 7, reports and particulars. Ron, they've got you first tonight. So is there anything from the council? You're muted, Ron. Ron, unmute.
Here I am.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. We had a special meeting tonight to discuss the paving project that's going on in town right now. It came in under budget, so there was money left over, and it was decided tonight to continue on with East Broadway and get an overlay down there with some grinding and put that in and widen that street down there because it's pretty narrow now. So that's
Well, that's
the
good.
only thing of significance I can add.
Well, yeah, it's that paving that's going on has been kind of nice. So it's just nice that it's coming in under budget too. So that's
Yeah.
good.
And I've had lots of comments, some not so good, but mostly good. I've even had comments from people who don't live in the original part of town, telling me how nice that makes the rest of the town look, just having those streets improved. So.
Oh, good. Anything else?
No, sir.
All righty. How about our city manager and staff?
I have nothing to report tonight. Thank you, though.
All right. And Kathleen, do you have anything? Okay. All right. Anything from any of our fellow commission members?
Just a real quick update on the visioning committee that's currently doing work. We are continuing through this process using Zoom and other means. And Ron, feel free to jump in if you have any additional comments as well. But we did get feedback summarized by Iowa State, and as you might guess, a lot of the comments were related to connectivity of trails and sidewalks and just general transportation issues and signage. So trying to work forward with some of that. And the connectivity was not only, connecting to the High Trestle Trail and to the new school property, but also just within our city where we have a lot of dead ends and things of that nature. I think our group on P&Z, we do a good job of implementing, the standards for new developments. I think a lot of the issues are related to existing legacy developments and also gaps for properties that aren't developed yet. I think as we are at our next meeting, we'll probably hear once again, about the Quick Star project and talk about that and some of the issues that we have along Broadway. We're now going to have, a nice trail from the corner on 3rd all the way down through the church property. Then we'll have a couple 100-yard gap, then Quick Star, and then another couple 100-yard gap. And you commonly will see rec trail users using a less safe means, still going, but using less safe means. So it'll be important to try to fill in those gaps.
I would just like to add that I was pleasantly surprised at the visioning meeting last Thursday night at how close that citizens committees mirrored our CIP plans for the city. It was good to know that it wasn't just the council who felt these things were needed. The trail connection, a lot of talk there about just the beautification of our town. So it was good. It was good to hear those things from another source.
That's good.
I have a couple of questions. This is Sires. Can you hear me first of all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jenny, why do you keep muting me?
Because there's a lot of feedback coming from your line for some reason when other people
Okay.
are talking.
Okay. All right. Because it's not always coming up that I'm trying to do things and it's not always coming up on my screen. Kind of disturbing, to tell you the truth. Yeah, smile. The second one is for Ron. What's going on with the garbage collection that seems to have all changed now?
Well, I'll let Chelsea answer that if she's still here. I can answer, but it's taking place.
Yep, no problem. The city is moving to Consolidated Trash effective July 1st. There were a lot of reasons for the decision, but I think the main reason that the council wanted to go this route is we had a good opportunity to partner with the MWA to manage our solid waste contract, and they provided us with a pickup rate for our residents that would save most people about 40% from what they were currently paying for garbage collection.
Thanks, Chelsea. That's mandated for every residence then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
My take on it, Doug, is it's one of the few opportunities we've had to to save the citizens some money. Not a lot of money, but money nonetheless. And plus, nobody's fault but our own. We had 6 garbage carriers coming to town every week. And so now there's some added benefit of wear and tear on the roads. And I think it was a tough decision, but I think it was the right decision. In fact, between meetings tonight, I fielded a call from a citizen who had called me last week who was quite upset that after finding out all the particulars that was saving money, he seemed a lot more pleased. I think it's the right thing to do. I know some people weren't happy with it, but.
Well, I think it's great. I mean, it gets garbage off the streets, and instead of all week, just one time. And it's probably saving me $9 a month, whatever. So it's good.
Yeah.
I'd like to piggyback off on this conversation, if I may. So what's the status of the spring cleanup?
We are looking to reschedule for a fall date. We have not determined that date yet, but we were looking at either the end of August or sometime in September.
Lovely, thank you.
We know this spring cleanup is very important to people, so we really are trying to get that rescheduled for later on this year.
Any other comments from anyone? Okay, if not, shall we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, well, thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you.